Welcome everybody. We are on site at Founder World in San Francisco. Joining me in the studio right now is Andrew from Structur3d Printing from Canada. Andrew, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Awesome, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So tell us a little bit about Structur3d Printing.
Okay, so Structur3d Printing is looking to solve the problem right now in 3D printing, which is the limitation of materials. So traditionally, 3D printing has been kind of like a mechanized hot glue gun. So it'll take a hard plastic, melt it down, and build something up. What we've created is this new tool head that will allow printing with materials way beyond just plastic. So we can print very strong, flexible materials. We work with a lot of different biomaterials and research groups. So we're enabling the physical developers of the world to design and prototype with many more of the things that they're familiar with in a day-to-day life.
Cool. So what are some of the things, like what are some of the materials? Like you guys obviously brought some
right,
stuff here.
so some of the ones that I brought here are the fun, so these are silicones.
Yep.
So what kind of advantage or different applications this brings to the table is the flexibility and durability. So one example is wearable tech type devices can now be prototyped using our device. Things like a Fitbit, a lot of people have trouble finding the right kind of texture. That's something that we can help them get to that stage. A couple other big areas for us are printing with foods. So food science is really growing, and we're able to enable the creation of a lot of new, I guess, textures and ways to make food. So on the easy end, it's something like printing a cake topper for your birthday that's personalized. It says, you know, happy birthday, Kory. And then on the high end, there are research groups around the world who are growing meat in a lab, and we're able to help them take this meat that they've grown and print the steak.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what is the craziest thing that you've seen somebody print with your machine so far that you're aware of?
So some of the, I guess not the craziest material, but the best thing I've seen just in the last week or so is one of our Kickstarter backers, one of our early customers, prints with his daughter in clay and ceramics, and he creates his kids' toys with his daughter. They design it on the computer in the CAD software, and he'll print out the toys, and the daughter will paint them and create them.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. We're trying right now to partner with a company that is printing, growing shark fin meat. So trying to save endangered species by creating a different channel for people to get this delicacy.
Right.
And we're kind of the last step that helps create the textures, create the densities, make it actually not just taste, but feel like the natural thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you guys, you mentioned you've run a Kickstarter.
We have.
So you've sold a bunch of things. What stage are you at now? What are you doing today?
So we're actually in an accelerator down here in San Francisco. We are focusing on taking our company to the next step. So figuring out some different channels and partners to work with, and really refining how or what we've learned through the Kickstarter. So we've had a wide variety of customers through the Kickstarter, and we found out where our device is providing the most value, and we're starting to focus in on that.
Very cool. So you're at an accelerator in the Valley. You're here at Founder World today. What attracted you to this event?
So we, coming from Canada, kind of had a limited view of how the startup world and the whole tech ecosystem worked here. So that is a big part of why we're here, is getting to know other companies, talking to people, really calibrating ourselves with how things are working in the Valley.
Nice. And so, as you look around here, you're one of the demonstrators, obviously.
Yep.
But other than 3D printing, are there other technologies, either here or otherwise, that really kind of excite you guys?
Oh, interesting question. I know for me, so my background is in nanotechnology. So I've seen a lot of what is to come in different industries, and what is really fascinating me being down here is, you know, I'm seeing them come to market now. It's no longer just stuff I saw in a textbook and thought, oh, this is really cool. It's actually happening, and that includes things like, you know, growing meat or different interfacing with the human body, so that you could create robotic arms that are controlled by the brain. Just in the digital fabrication space, so outside of 3D printing, there are a lot of really cool technologies. There's a 3D printing company that is creating life-size 3D printing sculptures out of wood and leather and things like that just launched on crowdfunding a few days ago and has already raised over $30 million. So just ousted Pebble as the leader. And so there's a lot of energy and a lot of resources going into new ways to make things. And that's one thing that I'm really fascinated with.
So on that vein, do you have a favorite Google technology?
So I think one thing that's really interesting me is Google is getting into the 3D printing space. They had, I can't remember the name of the company they just acquired or invested heavily in, but they're pushing a new way of 3D printing, which is almost like printing with holographs, which is really cool. It really allows for this mass customization of products moving forward. And then outside of that, I think, my favorite is my Android phone. Yeah, I used to be an Apple fanboy and completely converted and am addicted to my phone now, yeah.
Well, welcome to the team.
Awesome, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Andrew, thanks very much for joining me.
Thanks again.
Yeah, no worries. And thank you guys for joining us. We are on site at Founder World in San Francisco.